Hello, I'm Mr. SilverFox,
And I'm Mrs. SilverFox, and you're listening to the SilverFox Swingset.
a podcast where we document the ins, outs, and upside downs of the swinger lifestyle from a beginner's perspective.
This podcast is recommended for the 18 and over crowd and contains adult content. So if you're not a grown up, please come back when you're of legal consenting age.
And welcome back, everybody, to episode 2 of the SilverFox Swing Set. How is Mrs. SilverFox doing tonight?
I'm doing great tonight.
Our topic this evening is going to be rules. Exciting.
That is exciting. Important.
But before we get to that, what have you been up to, Mrs. SilverFox?
We've done a lot of things since our last podcast, I feel like.
I definitely think we've done a lot of things, and we attended an event.
A huge event, a hotel takeover.
And we also have had a lot of sexy conversations going on.
I think a big part of that was attending the event, finally being able to put faces to the names of the people that mostly you, have been communicating with, which was nice for me because, people were surprised. Not surprised, but it seemed like they were excited to meet us in person, and they recognized us, a lot of them, before I recognized them, because I am not the gatekeeper of the website where most of these people are from.
Swinglifestyle.com is the site Mr. SilverFox is on, and I would say the vast majority of the members came from that site.
Largely, for sure.
Because most of the people I knew from just speaking with, and you would recognize them from the profiles I showed you, but since everybody was dressed to impress, it was different than, I would say, some of their profile pictures.
Sure. And because a lot of them weren't together. Like, we would meet, the Mr. or the Mrs. separately. So, without them standing next to each other and matching cowboy hats that they got at, Hito, I wouldn't recognize them because, well, one, my memory is terrible, and two, if they're not together, I guess I didn't recognize a lot of people.
I would say even I had a difficult time, where a lot of people already knew each other that were at the event and already had established relationships. And, we were literally meeting everybody.
For the first time.
For the first time. And, I don't want to say we were overwhelmed, but we were definitely excited. We met a lot of amazing people.
For sure.
And it was incredible, the amount of people that came up to us and knew us. Maybe some haven't directly conversed with myself or Mrs. SilverFox through DMs, but definitely knew us and have checked out our profile, and even, were kind enough to read everything.
Sure. I felt like they knew a lot about us.
Sure. But, I would say when we walked in, of course, the wonderful service at the counter for the hotel. We stopped there first to check in, and then D was the one checking.
Oh, yes. So, the whole event was a Club Euphoria event. And if you're not familiar with Club Euphoria, they do the Euphoria Chronicles, which is an orgasm for your ears. And they're also on Google Podcasts, and we listen to them anyway, partly because they're so close and partly because they have a great dynamic. But they put on these amazing events. They work tirelessly to put these things on, and you can, from start to finish, I feel like, Ray too, but D really, she really held that shit together.
For sure.
100%.
For sure. It was really a pleasure, to meet both of them. Wonderfully nice people. And, I wasn't afraid to say it to Ray, but he might be the king of speed dating.
Oh my gosh. It was a pity speed date, but easily probably one of the most memorable, what was that, 6.5 minutes of the whole night, I would say. I have never been schooled on Mario really by anybody. Like, nobody can one up me on Mario knowledge for the most part. But this dude pulled some knowledge out of his hat that he wasn't even wearing, pulled it out of nowhere, and really sat down with me because I had gotten skipped twice in the speed dating kind of circle. So he sat down, I think, because he felt bad and he noticed I was sitting on a mattress in a playroom all by myself, kind of looking like a lost puppy, and saved the day.
I'm not really certain how you wound up being alone while I was pulling sometimes two women at a time into my speed dates.
I don't know how that happened either. And maybe it's because I'm a very loud person and my voice carries. So maybe the person behind the guy before I got skipped heard all he needed to know and was like, okay.
It was definitely fun to just have an introduction to everybody and just kind of talk about how long people have been in the lifestyle, how welcoming people were when they found out how new we were to the lifestyle. And just, I think that's where it started to take off.
Well, and people's relationship stories. I can't tell you how many excellent relationship stories I heard. I mean, the gal that sat next to me on the mattress, first, let's say you and I really screwed up the speed dating round.
Did we? Because we speed dated before the speed date?
Okay.
I'd say we doubled down on awesome.
So we thought the speed dating was already happening, and we had taken too long in the bedroom to get ready. There was no funny business. We were just getting ready, but we
maybe
were
a little funny.
A little bit of funny business, but we were late, and then we kind of rushed down to speed dating, and we thought everyone had started. So we just grabbed a seat at a table across from this awesome couple that probably had no interest in someone sitting at their table. They were just trying to like relax and enjoy each other's company. But we thought it was the speed dating. So we sat down and said, hi, our names are blah, 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 blah. And we just kind of started yapping. And then we found out like 8 minutes later that speed dating hadn't started. We were in the completely wrong room for speed dating.
I think our first hint is when they asked us when it would start.
I kept
and
talking.
I thought, man, I'm in the middle of it. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? We're already deep in it. I already know your birthday.
Awesome couple, though.
They were so gracious because they were not new.
No.
They knew what was going on, but they were so nice. And these are some of the friends that we've made through, this event that have been very gracious since then and saying, oh, no big deal that you speed dated us before speed dating.
Well, not only that, we've been able to join group chat sessions with these folks that we've met and found out that, they are truly wonderful.
Amazing.
And out, day in and day out. What a wonderful group of people we've had an opportunity to meet. And I'm thinking we're very fortunate because of that.
I would say so.
Everything we were looking for to create more positivity in our life, which was very important.
Yes.
Extended to this event and beyond this event.
And we're getting it. Like, we're exactly what we set out to find. Like, we're already finding that. And, I keep saying too that I've never been invited to sit at the cool kids table. I've just never been that person. And for us to have met this awesome group of people that are, very accommodating, very understanding, and so positive, not just sex positive and body positive, but just, positive as people, keeping everybody really uplifted and that kind of thing it's the first time I've ever been invited to sit at the cool kids table, and the kids are actually cool. They're not just a bunch of assholes pretending to be cool. Like, they are fucking
correct.
Cool.
Yeah, I met some wonderful, wonderful people that I hope that we get to stay into contact for a long time. And we also met some other individuals that go to different events and owners of those institutions.
Mm-hmm.
And what amazing people they were too.
Yes, and I really liked that, we had these different sort of lifestyle promoters and lifestyle club owners and house party owners and event people that they're the kind of people that sort of feel the way I feel about photography, where, it doesn't have to be cutthroat, and it doesn't have to be, everybody is out to get everybody. It's everyone comes to the table and eats. And I think that's such a positive community builder that it just speaks volumes to the way that these people actually like live their lives. I think that's awesome.
And the lack of pushiness going on throughout the night with us was fantastic. Of course, people were more than willing to express interest and flirt with each other.
Ugh.
And what an amazing participant I would say we both were.
Oh, my babe got to really flex his flirt skills. Okay.
I enjoyed it very much.
I enjoyed watching it.
Oh, I tell you, there was a point I really watched a gentleman speak to you in the evening, and I admired the way he flirted with you.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Exactly.
When he put his hand at my waist, there was a second where I thought, because it was our first event, and we haven't really been in that kind of situation before where we were just, fully open to whatever was going to happen, and, everything was fully situational, where, that first second where, the edge of his fingers kind of touched my hip, and I thought, oh shit, am I going to be in trouble? And then I remembered where I was and that it was okay, and like then it felt really good, and then I saw that you saw it and you felt okay about, so it felt even better. And so yeah, I feel like we're headed in a good direction.
Not to mention what a wonderful, beautiful wife he had.
Oh my gosh. Don't get me started. The red dress
to die for.
I can't. I cannot.
We definitely made a connection with them that was wonderful. I think our audience would like an update, and we did not play.
Wah, wah.
We had every intention to. We had another couple that we made a very strong connection with.
First draft pick, I said.
For sure. And everybody was on the same page, but she was biologically indisposed. But I think you said something in that evening that made a lot of sense. And I think it's worth repeating, and whether you heard it from somewhere prior, you can feel free to give credit where credit's due. But Mrs. SilverFox had stated that I would rather be sad for what we didn't do than sad for what we did do.
Not sad. I would rather regret the things that we don't do instead of regretting something that we do.
Okay,
and
fair.
That, although, to be fair, it was a little bit sad. Not terribly, because,
Sure.
My plan B is Mr. SilverFox, and we have great chemistry and great sex and great alone time together, so everything worked out. No, fear not.
Well, I think, I was the real winner, because no matter what, I still, in my heart, walked away with the most beautiful woman that night.
Oh, gosh. Okay, I'll let you have it.
For sure.
Just this one.
But I think we were both ready to take our first step if all parties were on board, at least to enter the realm of getting past the first step of saying, okay,
sure,
let's take our chance. These are two wonderful people that we've made a wonderful connection with. We spoke prior to the event, had been in communication with before that, and actually I got busted on the elevator by the person because I didn't immediately recognize her from her photos. And
let me stop, because a lot of podcasts will say, or a lot of profiles will say, if you don't look like your photos, you buy drinks for me until you do. And I think that's, you know what I mean, with filters and catfishing and whatever else, that makes a lot of sense. Well, let me tell you that somehow, by some miracle of the lifestyle gods, this woman was like, I mean, her pictures were great, but in real life, oh my God, she was the 10 out of 10. Phenomenal. First draft pick again. Phenomenal. So yeah,
The
I would have never
personality
recognized.
and the confidence that superseded her beauty made her very sexy.
Oh, and her smile on the elevator when we first ran it. Oh my God.
Yeah, I thought, wow, who's this nice
I
lady?
thought, I don't know who
smiling
this
at
woman
us?
is, but I'm going to test all the boundaries.
And then turned out she knew exactly who we were.
Right.
And took me by surprise. And I'm usually not one to be for a lack of words, but the smile,
Oh my goodness.
the confrontation, I'd say from the smile in the elevator to the last kiss on the cheek, they were amazing to share that night with us.
100%.
And so I would
And
definitely
really,
say
the only regret I have about the weekend is that we could not play with them. It's the only thing I regret.
And I do really, really want to say that there were plenty of couples that I would have been more than willing to play with, but the connection you make with individuals, is sometimes hard to define. That maybe it takes 2 meetings before you feel that connection with somebody. Maybe it takes 5. Maybe it takes more or less. It's hard to say what exactly is going to happen and be defined in every moment that you live in. But in this particular case, we just had a very strong connection to 2 individuals, and they mutually shared it back and have continued to speak with us and share that sentiment. So, if anything, the build up to the next time we
To
get
whatever
together
happens
will be well worth it, in my opinion. Even if it winds up just being a friendship, which we hope it's much,
Good God.
much more.
I can be friends with her, but I'm probably going to make out with her.
That has to be a part of it.
My God.
It certainly does.
And you know what they call that in a lot of podcasts is the elusive 4-way connection, which I'm not sure if that's, they call it elusive, but I feel like we met a lot of people where I really felt like I got along with both parties and, I mean, at the very least could have sat down, had a few drinks, had dinner, and still had a wonderful time with or without play.
100% accurate statement. 100%.
Sure.
But I would think moving forward into future events that we are a little more aware of some of the people around us, where we can attempt to make more personal connections, and hopefully that continues. Play could have occurred, but we had discussion proceeding, and it just wasn't the right time. It just wasn't the right time. But like you said, we wanted to regret what we didn't do,
Right.
and not regret what we did do. But not to say that we would have had regret in any moment. It's just that we were certain about one moment,
Right.
and didn't know from there where the next moment's proceeding would go. We were just certain about that one moment.
And I mean, admittedly, I will say that I had, as soon as I made my first draft pick, which turned out to be the same as yours, I had tunnel vision towards reaching some kind of experience with those 2. So it really did kind of shut me off to the other people around me. I still talked and, met a lot of really great people, but I think that sexually I was already kind of pointed in one direction, and it wasn't until I realized that direction kind of led to not a dead end, but to an end that wouldn't end the way I thought it would, that it was already, at that point in the night, it was already too late to seek something else from other people, seek play, with somebody else.
I would have to agree. And plus, once you have that initial investment, at least from our experience, that when we had that investment and we had reached the point where we agreed that peak excitement being our first time I would almost have to say that that was the climax of the situation because of what preceded it. But it was difficult to want to climb that mountain again, to
Right,
get to
right.
that heightened state of sexuality
Yeah,
of everything that we did as far as rules that night came into play.
sure.
And I think it's important to understand from a perspective on how rules are dynamic to us now and not static. Static meaning that we went into an evening with a pure set of rules, no deviation. You know, we're not going to play on the first date. We're not going to do this. We are going to do that. We really took the
At our
time,
first event
right, to
that
our
we talked
first
about in the
event
last podcast.
and to this event where we came in where we had an understanding that, hey, I may actually change my mind.
Sure.
I
It
may
was more
change my mind.
situational
Right.
than I think the static rules that we set in place the first time. You know what I mean? We were more open to what could happen in the moment, and as long as there was a way to communicate with each other, whether that was okay, it almost made it more, I guess, proactive because we're kind of changing with it than anything else, if that makes sense.
It makes complete sense to me. And the way that we can communicate and decided how to communicate in front of other couples where we had previously spoke about whispering in front of other couples, making other couples feel,
So rude.
or it's an inside joke where we have something going on between us. But I would think our solution was very, very unique to us, and nobody would ever know. I would think what we were discussing.
For
But
sure.
I don't think we should discuss it because that's
I
our
don't know
little
because that's a little
secret.
secret. Yeah, I don't want people to know and then be like, "Oh shit, that's their thing."
If somebody ever finds out,
Oh, we'll be
I would
had.
love to. I would love to hear them tell me.
I don't know if I can handle it. But a lot of the different podcasts, everyone talks about communication. Okay, everyone talks about rules and limits and boundaries and that kind of thing, and then everybody talks about how you quote unquote seal the deal. How do you discuss with your partner whether playing with someone is a go and they got the green light? And I've heard a lot of different ways to do it. Whispering right there, hand signals, excusing yourself to have a conversation. But I think part of the excusing yourself part also, could be mistaken as, okay, well, they're not interested and they're excusing themselves from the entire conversation. Um, so then we need to be focused on something else. So I think our solution to it, is not really obtuse, and I don't think people are really going to pick up on it, and it allows us to stay in the moment, in the situation, and answer very plainly, in our own way, whether or not playing with somebody is a green light or not.
First
First rule of Fight Club.
and foremost, I think we should. I think we should note that our first rule, no matter what, no means no. No matter what, who, or when.
Sure.
That's the number one rule.
That's important.
And that everybody has the right to stop at any given time.
I think not just no means no, but
Not in a
if
forceful
if
sense.
it's not an exuberant yes, then the answer is still no. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty good at reading people, I would say. And there even came a point in this night where I felt like things were lining up with this couple, and then when I felt some kind of way like maybe it wasn't going to line up, I sort of sensed that before it happened a little bit, I feel like.
For how well we know each other, to read each other's body language and see that is
Mhm.
one thing. Between us means no, and the other partner does not have to define in that moment any reason whatsoever to the other, meaning Mrs. Silverfox, does not have to explain to me why she does not want to spend the evening with this couple. If she doesn't want to play with them for any reason, if I don't want to play with them for any reason, no means no. It's not the time to get into a discussion about it. It's okay. We accept each other for that reason very, very much. And that same respect is given to another couple, no matter what. If for any reason whatsoever, one person does not want to and wants to stop, no matter what the reason is, I don't ever have to know. I will not be offended, and that's okay. And I think that's our most important rule.
Yeah.
Which precedes everything else behind that, is that we at least have all a level playing field to say, I'm not comfortable.
And I think, our little secret code is an excellent way of either one of us saying, yeah, no, I'm just not feeling it. Let's talk about it later, but the answer's no.
Right.
And then on the flip side of that coin, we also have the ability to say, like, yes, 1,000 times yes, which I would say in our first draft pick case, there was no fucking question whether or not we were both interested. So it was a good test run for the code that we had figured out and the way that we decided we were going to communicate on the spot, situationally, if play was something we were interested in. And I think it works really well.
But in the end, what I thought was beautiful is that we had the heightened sexuality. We had an intimate connection with a couple that we wanted. Our profile clearly states that it has to be more than physical with us. And be it that we had an intellectual connection before going into the event.
For sure.
An in-person carry on, a follow through, if you would, of that same connection to another level in person, and found out they were every bit as genuine as they presented themselves. That just carried on to it was very refreshing.
Yeah.
And
that was a feeling we got to take back to each other too.
Correct. That's what I'm leading to.
Sure.
We were able to take that back to our room, have amazing sex that night, and enjoy the night. But when it was done and that was removed, we had the time to ourselves to discuss everything.
Sure.
And, the rights, the wrongs. Did we misread each other? And I would say no. 100%
No.
The night went as smooth as it possibly could for us.
Yeah, we had a good night.
I think we had a fucking fantastic
night. I got so many compliments on that itchy ass dress. That was totally what a great surprise. I feel like for you.
It's not that big of a surprise for me.
The dress?
Your compliments.
Oh, I thought you meant the dress. Like, what do you mean you peaked?
No,
the dress was a surprise for you. I felt great in the dress. It was very uncomfortable, but it was worth every single compliment.
I received a fair amount of compliments, both because of you and as well as how well we were dressed.
You looked very sharp.
Thank you. I thought you looked beautiful in every outfit.
Thank you.
But what a positive experience just from everybody. Made me feel amazing.
10 out of 10. Would recommend.
Would recommend, 100% recommend.
Looking forward to the next Euphoria event. They put on such a good event. I can't wait till the next one. The lifestyle events are almost like tattoos, where you get one and then you're like, oh man, well maybe I need another one just on my ankle, just a little guy, and you get a little taste, then you feel like you have to have more right now. I feel like I just want to go balls to the wall. We went to this one thing, now I want to go to Hito, I want to go to Naughty in New Orleans, I want to do all the
I want
things.
to meet up with all of our friends.
Everyone that's ever reached out. I want to meet them in person, face to face. I want to feel a click. I want to smell their pheromones. Oh my
I want
god.
to go out with the people that we met,
Mm.
whether it be for friendship or perhaps future play. I I don't know. It was just so positive, and I can't wait to enjoy more. I wish there was more events that didn't overlap than what they do.
Oh, yes.
Um, because I
Choices.
just want everybody to enjoy everybody as much as I enjoyed them.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But going back to the rule system, rule number two is we don't play alone.
No.
One
Not
is not
now. I'm not going to
not
say
now.
never.
No, at the moment.
Yeah, I've listened to a lot of different podcasts that, they always start saying the same thing. Not in our own bed. Um I'm not going to play solo. I'm not going to do this. But they also almost every single one says never say never. So right now, I don't feel like separate play is really something I'm interested in. Um, Although I am warming up to the idea of a unicorn. At the very beginning, every ladies, if you're about to get in the lifestyle, I will tell you, your husband is going to search out that unicorn because that's he doesn't care. He doesn't care about your husbands and about your boyfriends and all this. He wants the unicorn. So at the very beginning, I said no unicorns. But now I'm like, well, I never say never. Maybe a unicorn.
And I will
Maybe.
say that goes back to our rules being dynamic and not static, is
Mm-hmm.
that, of course, everything that's defined in this moment is purely in this moment
They're
and can
changing.
change at
Yes.
any time.
Changing.
And it will be changed based on
Evolving.
our positive experiences and hopefully very few of the negative experiences because we have so little of them.
Sure.
That's what my hope is. So rule number two at the moment, we don't play alone.
Mm-mm.
We did speak briefly in the last podcast about another rule that we had that had already changed, where we said same room play only, but then we evolved into we just want everything to at least start together in the same room.
Sure.
And so there's another change to what we originally had thought. But that's okay. I think change is wonderful. I think positive change is wonderful as long as there's clear communication
Sure.
between us.
And I think one of our biggest changes, that we talked about in the last podcast was when we first started, we said, well, we're only going to soft swap. A little kissing back and forth, maybe a little oral, but I'm not going to have sex with another man, and I don't want you to have sex with another woman. And within 3 or 4 days, we kind of came back together, like, hey, actually, I've kind of been thinking about this, and here's. So I think that situational, I guess, dynamic of change is, I like it. I think it works for us. It might not work for everybody. If you have to have static rules, have static rules. But I feel like in our relationship and where we're at, I know that you're not going to find something that you're missing in our relationship with another woman who's married to another man. I know that regardless of whatever play happens between you and another woman, that I'm not going to be replaced by that woman.
No.
So I guess I'm pretty open to the idea of separate room play. And I feel like at some point, a hall pass is going to be probably something that's really acceptable. And
I guess at this moment in time, though, I'm not very much interested in the hall pass.
sure.
And I guess that's more of my personality,
Mm-hmm.
because I do enjoy pleasing. I'm not a selfish lover.
That's true.
So I don't necessarily want that at this moment in time, but it's hard to say because let's say we meet the perfect couple. You're away from home on business, whatever. Their spouse is away, and everybody's on the same page. We play together. I mean, to me, in my mind, that discussion could exist, or even
Sure.
vice versa. I'm away on business, you're home, they're home, whatever. I'm not saying that that's ever off the table. It's just not something we further discussed,
Right.
and that could change.
And I think part of our relationship dynamic too is that, if I'm on a job assignment where, I'm photographing people in the lifestyle and things get crazy, I feel like I could call you and say, "Hey, listen, this photo session got a little bit squirmy. I feel like I might want to mess around a little bit." You know what I mean? I feel like I could call you and or talk to you or FaceTime you or however we have to communicate and say, or afterwards say, "Hey, here's what happened at this photo session that, things felt really steamy and I really kind of wanted to jump in a little bit or be a little bit more active than I was. And I wasn't because I want to talk to you about it first." I feel like we're in a spot where I can communicate that with you and it's not going to bring the whole world that
Oh
we've built
no.
crumbling down around us,
No, because that's so indicative of rule number one is that for any reason anybody could say no, and no matter what, it doesn't have to be discussed in that moment in time. It's no. So if I said I didn't feel comfortable at that moment in time, that no matter what you wouldn't participate, and
Right.
vice versa. If I was saying, hey, I'm with this nice couple, or
Sure.
you know, he's giving her a hall pass. I'm alone. Can I play? As long as that first rule can exist, I believe it always gives way to the freedom of discussion
Sure.
without fear of repercussion.
Yeah.
Is that safe to
Oh,
say?
100%. I don't feel like any discussion we have, even if it's you saying, "Hey, I'd really like to go off on my own and have sex with this other person," that even that conversation would really negatively alter our relationship in any kind of way.
I don't think so.
You know what I mean?
Right?
I don't feel like that would happen. Partly, I think because a big part of that is that we're already kind of open to that idea because I've always been the kind of person that develops crushes very easily.
Hmm.
And especially, in a workplace, if I work with someone who's physically strong, who is emotionally strong, who works all the time, or, there's a lot of qualities, in a man and a woman that I admire where I just will instantly crush on somebody. And I feel like every single one of those I've had, I've brought home to you and said, "Oh my gosh, this guy at work is so handsome and he's so strong and he's got these, back muscles and I'm just so attracted to him and I'm really crushing on him really hard." You've never reacted in a way that made me feel like it was inappropriate or that I was being, I don't know. That
Well, I think it has to do with a certain set of core beliefs of mine that we've discussed throughout
Mhm.
our entire marriage. We've been constantly changing on how we communicate to each other,
And
and
evolving. I know I keep saying that word, but
I think some of the
that's
core
so
values
true.
were always there but difficult to discuss.
Mhm.
And then over a year ago, three maybe up to 3 years ago, I really started to kind of change the way I viewed
Oh,
things.
oh yes. I mean, 180-degree spin.
And it was the principle of, why is it not okay
Mhm.
to feel certain ways towards other people, and what is wrong with the experience to an extent. And we had those discussions,
Yeah.
and I think they were very positive towards being very accepted of, hey, you're a human being.
Mhm.
I'm not going to deny you every feeling in the world because you said I
Sure.
do to me. I know you love me with all your heart. I trust you with all my heart and soul. We just desire that experience, and I don't see anything wrong with having the experience if everybody's on the same page. So
Right.
that just kind of correlates directly with being in lifestyle, I would
Yeah.
say. You know,
And I wouldn't attribute that not feeling very open to talk about that kind of thing. I don't think it has anything to do with you. The Our sex education in the United States is it's garbage. You know, so we're taught from very young that there's a certain way you're supposed to, you know, everybody's heard it. You go to school, you get the degree, you meet the girl, you buy the house, you get married, you have the baby, you retire, it's all part of a life path, and you're not supposed to have sex before you're married. You're not supposed to have deviant sex that isn't missionary in your bed at 9 o'clock on a Sunday night, you know, after you've already been to church and prayed and all these things. And so I think a big part of that change happened when you kind of started looking into, you know, things like Egyptology and the way that you know, energy is transferred between people and between experiences and between galaxies, and you know, all this other stuff that kind of comes with it, that I think until you went out and researched on your own, the the fundamental principles that you had were not ones that you chose, and they're not necessarily the right ones, but you know, I think the ones that you live by now are, I don't want to say smarter, because I don't want to make people feel like what they know is not smart,
Right.
but
I think it's more accepting.
mhm.
It's not inclusionary, you know, and I would never in a million years want anybody to believe in something I believed in just because I did.
Sure.
Um, you know, I would be happy to openly discuss it. I enjoy discussing those things, you
Oh
know,
my
in
gosh.
private
Don't get
to
him
no
started.
end. But ultimately, just the exchange of energy between people, I think, could be very positive, and
Yes.
I think very intimate. And the most intimate form of energy exchange is expressed sexually.
Mhm.
You know, and that's what I really truly believe. So, you know, to deny all of these positive experiences in my life, and for you to deny them, just seemed foolish. And a positive energy exchange doesn't necessarily always equate to sex,
Right.
but it does require a little bit of intimacy, such as flirting,
Or information sharing.
information sharing.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some kind of something where you know, you're showing someone a part of you that not every person you meet gets to see.
Right, exactly.
I think that's huge.
And so that kind of put us in a place to be able to discuss a lot of more things openly
Yeah.
without fear of offense towards the other person,
Right.
which is an amazing way to speak to one
Oh
another.
my gosh. Although I
Which,
don't think we've had any problem telling anything to one another, but
no.
you know, being able to talk so openly, and especially now that, you know, flirting is on the table and touching is on the table and all these new exciting things are on the table, you know, it's a it's kind of a rush to be able to, and it's so liberating too to be able to have these conversations with you, um
To be
where
able to tell you that I stood downwind from two gorgeous women,
mm,
and there was a sense of perfume in the air
mm, mm, mm.
that was running through my nose, driving me wild. And to be able to turn and ask them who it was, and for one to look at me and say, me, and to lean in, be able to run my fingertips down her side, over her ribs, and lean in to smell her, to be able to whisper into her ear, that's how a woman should smell,
Mhm.
was totally hot for me.
That was hot for me too. Well, and she looked awesome. It made me a little shitty. I feel like I really wanted to sniff her too after you did.
You missed out just
I really
just
did.
a lot.
I did.
So
That's
back
okay.
to, you know, where we're at with our rules. I don't think it's really fair to say, you know, we have a set of rules through 1 through 10,
Right.
but just to discuss that we're able to be dynamic,
Mm-hmm.
to still take everything that we experience back to each other, and just take that into the lifestyle, I think is a wonderful step for us as beginners. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if it'll necessarily suit every situation to every listener that we may have,
Sure.
but it's something that helps us. And I think that's pretty okay to share.
I think that's very pretty okay. So we have a lot of things coming up, yeah?
We do. We currently are in contact with several individuals that we are talking to, hoping to have some awesome dates.
Mm. A couple. A couple,
Couple.
like 3 or 4, I feel like.
Right. And
I love
very,
dinner.
Oh, I know, right?
I love dinner.
Dinner, food, drinks.
Fuck.
Can't wait.
Oh my gosh, I'm really excited.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm very excited about maybe next
I made a new
weekend.
friend. I made a new lifestyle friend. That's a big thing.
That is a big thing. I think we made several.
A lot.
'Cause
I
we're
mean, a lot.
still- Right.
Well, and they're still coming out of the woodwork too. People that, now that we're in these groups, the people that we met that didn't know how to contact us before that are now like, oh, hey, we remember you from, the Euphoria event. Well, and this weekend is absolutely huge. It's my sister's wedding week, so things have been happening all week. I did the flowers.
Well, you're the maid of honor.
I'm a co-maid of honor because I'm not responsible enough to be the maid of honor all by myself. So that's okay because thank God she knows me and knew that I would not be able to handle the responsibility. It's a lot. But I cleaned up nice. I painted my nails.
That black dress you had on tonight was amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I felt okay in it.
I'm not alone in my compliments.
Oh.
I think several individuals in our group chats I shared pictures with were on the same page.
Did you share?
Did I? Maybe.
Sluts. It's okay. So yeah, that's big. And then all the Halloween stuff happens not on Halloween, but like the week before, which is like my vacation week. So we have some, no pun intended, some hard choices to make on where we're gonna be and what we're gonna do.
Currently, we are registered to go to Euphoria,
Mm-hmm.
and so I would say that's on the agenda. We do have invites somewhere else, and so
A couple other somewhere else's.
correct. We have three parties we're invited to.
Oh my gosh, can we just do all of them?
I know, can't we? Can't we? Can we ask them to start on Thursday through Saturday?
Yeah, instead
Hit
of
3.
Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, and maybe
That'd be
2 in a day.
perfect.
I don't know. Do we have that much stamina?
Maybe if
I'm
we
willing to
behave
give it a shot.
ourselves.
I don't want to behave.
I don't want to
I don't
behave
think
either.
you mean that.
Should we talk about our costumes or no? Because you're being kind of a party pooper about costumes.
I don't know what there's to talk about when we don't have anything
Ugh.
selected, but that's
I already have stuff in my
90%.
Amazon cart.
90% of that is my problem.
It really is.
It's because I have a beard and a shaved head.
It's so stupid.
And you won't let me wear a wig, so it
No.
really limits me on
Costumes are
bald
like
bearded characters.
they're just like it's like art. It's subjective. You don't have to be exactly like the person.
But I'd say it has to make sense.
Oh my gosh! If you're next to me and the things I want to wear, you will make sense.
Most people are looking at you anyway, Mrs. SilverFox.
Oh my gosh! Don't be silly. We'll be hot together.
Oh, we're definitely hot together.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a conundrum for us on which events to pick.
What a great conundrum to have.
Gosh, we want to be at them all so bad. It's so hard. The discussion is as hard as picking the costume. But
We're
we'll
just gonna have
figure
to
it
draw
out.
straws or something.
We'll figure it out one way or another. It's hard to say because who will we make the connection in the moment?
Amen.
If our first round draft picks call us, is that the way we go?
Phew.
Do we go visit?
Listen, if they called me tomorrow, That's where we're going. I'm going there.
We've already been invited.
I know. We got to do the things.
So it's a tough decision. Ultimately, once we get a little closer to the date, which I believe is the 23rd of October, we'll make that call, and of course, we'll report back on it. Hopefully, what amazingly good decisions we made.
Hopefully, you said.
Hopefully. But in the meantime, we do have a few dates we're going to try to make happen. We're pretty busy on the weekends. We do have things planned. Weekday dinners for us sound amazing. Low pressure meet and greets for the most part. Hopefully we have that strong connection that we can carry into a weekend we can make available.
See if things click. See if things get popping.
But
also, update on the podcast. We're in a lot of places now. More places than the first time.
Well, we originally started on our upload site, and then we moved to Google Podcast. We also have Apple Podcast, Amazon, and we're also on Spotify.
What?
Yes.
You want to find us?
So we're the SilverFox Swingset, and you can find us on our Google or Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. Episode 1. So this will be shortly uploaded, hopefully by Monday evening of the 25th, or the 26th, excuse me. And that'll be episode 2.
It's a big deal.
It's a very big deal.
I said that about episode 1. It's anytime we sit down and do a thing and make a plan, and I drink wine and don't fall asleep too fast, it's a big deal.
It's a very big deal.
Also, the websites that we're on all of them we're about to mention, we are SilverFox79. It's all one word. The Mister is on...
I'm on swinglifestyle.com and swingerzonecentral.com. And I'm SilverFox79.
And I am on Cassidy.com and... Oh my gosh. I always forget the name of the other one.
Swing Towns, I believe.
Swing Towns. I get confused because you say Swing Lifestyle and Swing Zone, and then I have to say Swing Town, and it confuses me. Also, if you have not heard of Cassidy, or if you've not signed up for Cassidy, or if you've never been a member, I am an official photographer affiliate through my boudoir erotic and lifestyle photography, the Naked Eye, capital I, photography. So if you go to Cassidy.com and put SilverFox79, all one word, in the referred by space, you get a 30-day free membership. And
30 days.
I know. And you get all the benefits of a fully paid elite member.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so you can send emails, you can see who's looking at you, you can search profiles, you can view cinema, and I will tell you, phenomenal.
Now, we did meet the owners of SLS at Euphoria.
Oh, yeah.
And they were 2 amazing people.
Hot.
What energy they brought to the table.
Hot.
So,
dancers, bourbon drinkers. Good Lord.
I will
They
say
had their
the
own
bourbon.
spot on the dance floor.
Yes.
Roped
reserved.
off.
Amazing.
Reserved with their names on it. Amazing.
Had a great time with them. What a pleasure to meet those 2. We'll reach out to them, and if they allow us, we'll plug their names, maybe their profiles, but I'd say let's ask permission before we put anybody out there.
We met some club owners. We met some, aside from the Euphoria Chronicles, we met some podcasters. I feel like there was a good mix of people there.
I would say that's 100% accurate.
What are they? Is that lifestyle influencers? Is that a thing?
I'm not sure.
I feel influenced by many of them.
I felt a tremendous amount of sexual energy from them. To be honest,
I'm just gonna for sure.
I very much enjoyed meeting everybody this past weekend, and the continued communication from the people that we talked to. And hopefully the communication from the people we haven't talked to yet.
Yeah, reach out.
Yeah, we do have an email address, silverfoxswingset@gmail.com. If you want to send an email, perhaps request a
Did you set
topic.
that up?
I did. I had to for their podcast.
That's
And you can reach out to us there. We'll get in contact with you.
Mr. Silverfox will answer because apparently Mrs. Silverfox has no fucking clue.
When it comes to the electronic communication world, I think I'm a little more reliable.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Listen, if you have to call one person, what's the meme where it says you have to call one person, if they don't answer, you live. If they answer, you die. Who do you call?
I call you every
It's
time
me.
and I live.
It's oh my god, every time. You live every time. I'm the worst. There it is. There it's not classy, but there it is.
So I do want to say a big shout out to Dee and Ray,
Mm-hmm.
Club Euphoria,
Killing
all the
it.
sexy people that decided to come out that night.
So many.
And to all the sexy people that couldn't make it, we'll catch you next time.
Can we, real quick? I mean, it's mostly anonymous. Can we shout out to room 312?
I think they still remain anonymous unless you were there.
My God. Listen.
Hello, people.
Hello.
312.
Room 312 was fucking popping. There was a lot of shit going on in that room. That
You are amazing human beings.
oh my God.
And
God
we
bless
did get
you.
to spend most of the night with them.
Yes. That was really
Wow.
lucky. That I mean, from beginning to end, I feel like we spent a lot of time with them, and what an amazing group of people with a great life story.
Well, and
with,
the funny thing is we met them first in the first 10 minutes of
on
checking
accident.
in the hotel, and man, went straight uphill from there.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. It
Heavens to
rocketed
Betsy.
with them. They were amazing people. Amazing people.
I saw some things that I have never seen before. You know, at some point in the future, I would say for sure, like, I'm definitely interested in, you know, peeking in and seeing what's going on and that kind of thing. But for
Maybe
where
me
I
and
am,
you.
maybe what?
Maybe me playing with you.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I'm open to a lot of things, especially, you know, the way I drink Reggae Red. But I think right now, you know, my focus isn't on group play or people watching or me watching other people. Like, my priority right now is getting through that first play. Like, I don't want us to be the play virgins anymore. Like, I want to fucking get in there. And I don't want to do it in the playroom because I'm afraid of performance anxiety, I guess, on my end. And
I would think that's a concern for most people.
Yeah.
You know, maybe first timers.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess in your mind you build up a way your first encounter should go. Kind
Yeah,
of like when you're
yeah.
a kid, this is how my first date should be.
Right. Or my
you
first
know.
kiss. Let me tell you how I
Right. I would say
ruined
probably women are worse than guys.
Oh,
in thinking
I
about it, but
ruined
we definitely still think
my
about it.
first French kiss.
We had just a great time there. We definitely want to get past being playtime
I don't want to
virgins.
be a playtime virgin.
I don't either, and I just think that it's very important to know that, and in a weird way, no, not a weird way, in a wonderful way, that there was plenty of opportunity for us, and we went at our own pace.
Yeah.
And the most amazing people there that even expressed interest always qualified it with, we can go at your own pace.
Yeah.
And I think that was very comforting
Mm-hmm.
to say, listen, this is what we want.
That's a good feeling.
This is what we want. This is what we think of you guys. We don't have to do anything,
Right.
but you are most invited.
Mm-hmm.
That feeling that it gave me personally, and I'm going to speak more of myself and you speak
Yeah.
for yourself, was just fantastic. I mean, granted, I know I feel that from you all the time and the way we talk to each other, but to be able to openly hear other people say it as well was just, wow, it was special.
Mm-hmm.
It was special. So thank you to all those sexy people.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Well, I think this is another great episode.
I hope so. You'll find out when you edit.
I certainly will. So we got our next agenda.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about your referral code.
Yes. 30 days free.
But we do have to talk about maybe one more thing.
What's that?
The Lifestyle Magazine.
Oh, yeah. So, I mentioned before my photography business, the Naked Eye, capital I photography. So I'm an affiliate for Cassidy. I have been recognized as an official photographer. I have a badge and everything. It's very fancy. I am also a affiliate partner for Lifestylers magazine. So if you want a story in Lifestylers magazine, you want to tell your story, you want to tell a sexy story, you want to get on the cover, you want to feature, contact me. Or contact Lifestylers Magazine, and they will put you in contact with me, especially if you are in Ohio, Northwest, Central Ohio. I travel everywhere, so, or even if you just need new profile pictures, get a hold of me and we'll make it work.
I think that's a wonderful way to end the podcast this time.
I think so too. I'm excited for the next update. I hope, here's my, everybody has a little thing that they do. What is it? Is it the Joneses that have the snapshot? Okay, let's just say like their Snapchats are so hot. Like maybe we have a thing, like a thing that we hope for the next podcast. Oh. So if we're looking forward, which we can call swinging forward, or what we can refer to as swinging forward, what I hope for our next podcast is that we have gone on these dates, that we found someone that we have the elusive four-way connection with, that there is some kind of play, because I really, really want to show off to you what I can do with another female. I really want to give you that gift and show that to you.
I'd say swinging forward, I want to share a very similar experience with you. Mm-hmm. And I want, more than anything, everyone to have an amazing evening.
I would agree with that. And I would add one more thing. As we have done the sex menu from the Kinky Coach, where we have the things that we want to do, the things that we fantasize about doing, the things that we absolutely will not do. I would like to move one of those things over. I would like to move something from the no-no pile to the maybe or I will try it pile. And here's how I'm going to approach that. Swinging forward, by the time we have our next podcast, I would like to have purchased a bedazzled butt plug, a little guy, maybe a beginner stage, just to try it and see what it looks like. I'm very intrigued by these bejeweled butt plugs. I used to make fun of them, but now I kind of feel like I kind of want one. A really cute one.
I am never going to talk you out of enjoying your experiences.
You would love if I got into anal. Love it. But I feel like I'm not going to promise anything, but I'm willing to find and purchase a really beautiful butt plug and wear it.
If anything, I am very, very respectful. And when something new is about to occur, to ask if it's okay.
True story.
So I definitely would never put you in a position where I'm doing something new without someone's permission.
Oh yeah, I don't want you to buy it and just pop that sucker in there when I'm not looking.
I can't see that.
But
being a
I
winning
would
formula.
like to surprise you.
Okay.
With one of those, which means I have to do a little shopping.
Well, this is kind of a surprise, so I don't really have a counter offer.
That's okay.
And sure it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like you deserve a reward.
No, it's okay. Let's just see. Because if I get it and I put it in and I hate it, then I don't.
Well, of
wanna,
course.
But swinging forward, I would say that's something that I'm willing to move off the absolutely not list to the maybe I'll give it a shot. It has to be the cutest fucking butt plug you've ever seen. So I'm excited to shop for that.
Out in that selection.
I'm excited to shop for that and to surprise you with that, and maybe see what that looks like.
Swinging forward, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Okay.
But for me, I would like to report back that we did have a fun, playful encounter with someone, and we had an amazing time.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most important thing for me at the moment.
I'm excited about that too.
But I am very curious if it all winds up staying in the same area. I'm just so open-minded to the situation and to the moment. I don't know how it ends, and it's driving me wild because I have no control over it.
I don't know how it.
And
I know how it starts in my head, but I don't know how it ends. And I think that's okay. I like the mystery.
Gives everybody a chance to look forward to something.
Yeah. And to, like you said, to kind of live in the moment and decide what's okay dynamically, among a group of people. I'd say right now we're full swap situational.
Full swap situational.
Ooh.
I get woo.
Spicy.
Well, I think we should go on a very good line. If anything, we'll have a good night. If everything, we'll have an amazing one.